All right, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to teach you guys some psychological aspects of your dark shadow, and this is going to get into a dark and deep side of within yourself, and this is the shadow, the hidden side of your mind. And Carl Jung was the mastermind of psychology, and he did some pretty good work, man. Carl Jung described the shadow as the unknown side of your personality, the parts of you that reject, suppress, or pretend that don't exist. It's not evil by nature; it's just suppressed energy, and this goes off into deep detail on what it is. So, when you were a child, you were expressed freely by anger, sadness, creativity, curiosity. So society, parents, religion, and teachers told you what was accepted. Everything that was unaccepted, the anger, the jealousy, the witness, the wildness, or even deep love, got pushed down into the unconscious, and that's your personal shadow. Okay, psychology, the shadow forms because the ego, your unconscious self, your self image, wants to stay good, in control, and liked, so it splits off into the parts that don't fit image. But those parts that don't die, they hide and they look for moments to escape. It's pretty interesting how people start noticing their shadow even if they're not actively trying to figure it out. And this is how people unconsciously wake up from their shadow. So these are four aspects of life when people start to wake up from their shadow, okay? Number one is stuck in the loop. Life has a funny way of throwing the same patterns or relationships at us. Like, if you keep attracting manipulative people, it might be a sign that you've got some unacknowledged need for control or fear of being left alone. These patterns eventually get uncomfortable enough that you hit a hit wall. Number two, emotional reactions. Even ever notice someone overreacting to something small, or maybe they're constantly angry, sad, or super jealous without a clear reason? Those strong feelings are often the shadow steering. They make you wonder where they're coming from, and even if you don't call it, it's a shadow. Number three, pointing fingers. When you constantly criticize others for things you secretly do yourself, or keep getting into arguments because of misunderstandings, it can subtly hit and at your own unacknowledged traits. The world around us often acts like a mirror. Number four, body signals. Chronic stress and anxiety, or even physical acne, can be signs of bottled up emotions. Our bodies can tend to keep a tally of our unaddressed psychological bandage, and even eventually demand attention through discomfort. Ultimately, becoming conscious is a very personal journey. You can offer light and support, but they have to decide to take that path themselves. This is why, like, a lot of people don't really tend to, get rich or become successful in life, because they haven't even become aware of their own shadow, of their own ego, of their own selves. Because, bro, if you never become so self-observant within yourself, bro, you will never fucking grow, bro. And this is so the raw truth of that I'm telling you, bro, because I have never been so observant within myself. I never, took life serious, bro. I've always just wanted to get shit fast, bro, and that shit was just fucking eating me alive, bro. But now that I actually know about my subconscious and the shadow, bro, and I tamed it, it's actually quite interesting. So, from this phase, this is how the shadow reveals itself, okay? The shadow shows up in moments where you control breaks, moments of strong emotions, intoxication, or pressure. These are examples. The emotional outburst. You explode in anger and say, "I didn't mean that." When you react with uncharacteristic anger, sadness, or fear, and lately feel regret or claim, "I didn't mean that," it's often your shadow breaking through. These are the repressive emotions or aspects of your personality asserting themselves when you consciously control weakness. Envy and secret desires. You secretly envy someone but pretend you don't care. If you find yourself secretly envying others but qualities or achievements you publicly dismiss, it suggests a suppressed desire or a rejected part of yourself. For example, pretending not to care about someone's success while feeling a pang of jealousy is a shadow of manifestation. Number three, projection onto others. You shame others for what you unconsciously wish you could do. A common way the shadow appears is through projection. This is when you strongly criticize or judge others for traits that you unconsciously possess but haven't accepted in yourself. So, psychology, these are the projections. We see in others what we haven't accepted in ourselves. When you criticize someone's arrogance, it might be your own pride, your own parts of you that you haven't faced. The mind protects itself by throwing its own darkness onto the world, a defense mechanism against self-awareness. The shadow primarily reveals itself in moments where you usually control breakdowns, such as during intense emotional reactions under the influence of alcohol, or when you're under significant pressure. Especially like under the influence of alcohol, I feel like when people start to get really drunk and start to suppress their feelings, I feel like most people, like, they say that that's the real selves, when they're all angry, when they're all just fucking doing stupid shit. Like, most people, when they're under the influence of alcohol, like that's their dark shadow, like that's their dark selves. And it's kind of hard to realize it because most people don't really drink alcohol. But in emotional outbursts and envy and secret desires and projection onto others, bro, like these are other things that you start to manifest without you even realizing. And when you don't realize about your own shadow, bro, like it can really lead you into stupid decisions in the world. Like it really leads you to stupid fucking things, bro. And like that's when, like, it sucks, bro, because for a very long time, bro, you will really live your life unconscious. Like most people live their life unconscious, bro, and that sucks, bro. Like when you're trying to become conscious, bro, and really be aware of life, man, life gets a little bit too deep. Like it really does, bro, because God shows you so much shit, bro, and that it's unbearable. But I mean, something that God wouldn't do. He wouldn't put you into a position that you can't handle. So I mean, if you are in a position where it's like it's kind of hard to break through, but you're trying to maintain it, just know that God's always gonna help you out through anything, and it's true. But this is the dangers of ignoring it. So if you ignore your shadow, this is the horrible reality that you're gonna live. Okay, when the shadow is ignored, it becomes autonomous, meaning it acts on its own. You start to feel arrogant mood, anxiety, guilt, or impulses you can't explain. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. That's so true, because people run off of automatic habits, bro. People go off of stupid decisions every single day. People just have a routine, bro, and that it's sad because like it's meaningless, bro. Like it's just like when people don't really have a meaning and people just don't try to grow or learn or anything in their life, bro. Like if they're not like climbing up the ladder, bro, they're just gonna be stagnant. They're just gonna be left alone, and this means that the unhealed shadow will keep repeating lessons through people and situations until you face them. Until you face your own fucking shadow, bro, like you will repeat everything in life, bro. Simple. And this is what I'm saying, is that when people don't deal with their own hidden problems or negative parts of themselves, when you call their shadow, it really messes their lives. They end up feeling like they have no control, like someone else is pulling the strings. I've seen this happen, and I believe that people who are more connected to their spiritual side, like with God, have a better grasp of life, their spirit, and their body. I'm also saying that ignoring your shadow can lead to years of wasted time trying to figure out why things go wrong and a lot of self-blame. But really, it's just about not facing those difficult problems because it feels too hard, or maybe that you think you can't fix them. This shadow is actually holding you back from all the great things that you could achieve in life. Like once you start to tame the shadow, once you start to be so self-observant and you start to actually control your evil self, bro, because everybody has an evil self, bro. You can't just fucking be good in this earth, bro. Like it makes sense why there's so much good and evil in the world, bro. There's always gonna be good and evil, man. You can't just you can't just have one thing. You know what I'm saying? You always have to balance it. And once you start balancing yourself, like once you start balancing your own emotions and your own dark shadow, and you start to not let him go loose, bro, like you really start to achieve everything that you want. So this is a light within the darkness, okay? That your shadow isn't only negative, it also hides your raw energy, the parts of you that are powerful but suppressed. Inside the same space where your rage hides, there is your passion. Inside your jealousy, there is your desire to grow. Inside your fear, there is your intact to protect. By integrating the shadow, you don't just heal wounds, you unlock lost energy. It's like merging with your hidden twin that has all the intact drive and creativity you abound. So when you really start to get a handle on those hidden shadowy parts of yourself, the stuff you might have pushed down or ignored, it's seriously life-changing. It's not about getting rid of about them, but more about understanding them and bringing them into light. Think of it like getting all of your internal team on the same page. If some players are hidden or playing off key, you're not going to hit your full potential, right? But when you get everyone aligned, that's when you have true capability to really shine through. And here's the cool part. This kind of self-awareness and control can really actually feel like you're shaping your own reality. When you have a clear internal, when your actions become more deliberated and things just start to fall into place externally, matching what you really want. It's not magic, just part of being whole and in sync, which is pretty awesome if personal growth and making things happen in your life. I feel like people get to this level of consciousness when they have a really deep realization of God, bro. Because when like people who are really conscious, bro, like they know that he's there, you know what I'm saying? Like they're consciously aware, because honestly, like everything that I've been going through, bro, is through God's creating. Like, bro, God's been shaping me so much differently than everybody else, like online, bro. And it's crazy because I feel like I'm really different than most people, bro. It's like, and I'm really gonna show it, bro. It's like I have so much knowledge and wisdom now. It's crazy, bro. But like, I only got this because I've been controlling myself, and I've been in control of myself, and I've been aligning myself more with God, and it's been crazy, bro. But so this is your shadow work and how to integrate it. Okay, shadow work isn't about fixing yourself; it's about making peace with yourself. And how this is how Jungans describe the process of psychology. Okay, number one, you have to be self-observant. Watch your emotions, reactions, anger, envy, shame. These are your doorways to your shadow. Okay, number two, your radical honesty. Admit what you feel, even if it's ugly. Yes, I wanted to control them. Yes, I feel jealous. Number three, your dream exploration. The unconscious speaks in symbols. Your dreams often show that parts of you that you've ignored. Number four, the active imagination. Jung's technique of dialogue with your inner figure, your shadow, inner child, etc., to understand their motives. Number five, integration. Accept that you are both light and dark. This balance is maturity. It's psychology's wholeness. And these are absolutely the best ways to actually start to integrate your shadow, because self-observant is number one. You have to be aware of how you're viewing your own self and what you're doing. Radical honesty is where you face your true self, your real truth on what you really are and going in your life. You are a such person, really, no matter what it is, but you also do so with honesty. But that honesty will secure anything in life. Dream exposure is what you subconsciously actually is making symbols, and that's actually real. When you ever have fantasy, and you will have a dream in life where you want to have these goals and dream like this, and this is where it all actually starts to manifest. Active imagination is where you everything that you ever wanted in your dream start to actually act in that belief, and you start changing your character on who you are. That is starting to activate your imagination, and that's when all of your dreams and all of your things that you want to manifest, it will come to fruition, because you start to actually be aligned with your higher self. The higher self is going to be getting to you, a place where you will never have ever gone. And integrating is where you start to manage both the good and the bad. In this world that you live in, your psyche body cannot function off only one thing, because we are human. We are always going to have good and evil within ourselves, but the more you tend to have balance, the more you have more self-control and are aware of everything in your life. When you do this, your shadow is no longer the control of your darkness, and you begin to actually act conscious instead of reacting unconsciously. And like Carl Jung said, once you start to make the unconscious conscious, you will call it fate. So this is how you actually start to be a self-observant of your own shadow. And a lot of people say shadow work is completely different, but this is like a deeper understanding of how shadow work. Like, this is the real raw truth of how to actually fucking get your life together, bro. Because if you don't fucking fix your shadow, bro, you will really be ruled by your own inner being, and that motherfucker is evil, bro. Like, everybody in this world has evil parts of ourselves, bro, and most of them are being not observant of it, and they're being controlled by it. So I'm just telling you that you need to actually be aware of your dark shadow, because once you're aware of your dark shadow, bro, like, life really starts to become more better, bro. Like, honestly, really does. And this is how you integrate and have responsibility with the shadow. Facing your personal shadow techniques humility. It reveals that you are not purely good. Facing the collective shadow teaches responsibility. It reveals that humility is not purely civilized. When you integrate your shadow, you become less judgmental, you gain emotional depth and empathy, and you stop being emotion manipulated by unconscious drives. And when people do this, collective healing begins, because every individual awakening is a small light in humanity's darkness. It's truly remarkable how confronting your personal shadow installs a profound sense of humility. It reminds us that our existence is fragile, and that we have the power to create either a meaningful or a meaningless life. Many shy away from humility, preferring a passive existence, which inevitably leads to more problems and stagnation. However, when you begin to face these aspects of yourself and embrace your responsibility, you set yourself apart. The vast majority of people avoid personal responsibility and accountability because it feels overwhelming, and it leads them to suppressing their true selves and ultimately living unfulfilled lives. And this is why most people are so fucked up in life, man. Because they don't want to accept truth, they don't want to fucking take responsibility, they don't even want to do anything, bro. Like, most people are fucking acting like kids. Like, the most average 30 to 20 year olds right now, bro, they act like fucking teenagers, bro. And it sucks because it's just so embarrassing, bro. And these people that don't ever grow up in life, bro, they're gonna continue to fucking be so stupid and arrogant, and they'll never want to change, bro. And they'll always have this gigantic ego and pride, and it's just evilness, bro. It's all it is, just fucking evil. That's all it is. It's just evil, bro. And so this is my final thought. So the shadow isn't your enemy, it's your actual mirror. Okay, it shows that what you're missing is your wholeness. When you face it, you recover the full spectrum of humanity. To Jung, one does not become enlightened by imagination figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Notice how we said darkness conscious. We all have a dark side, but I'm telling you, this is the dark side that nobody ever wants to go to, because like it's kind of stepping into the unknown, where a lot of people say, but like this unknown is yourself, bro. And you don't even have to buy a course, you don't even have to do anything, bro. All you have to do is be self-observant. That's all you have to do. But by facing your shadow is how you earn the light, and through that you heal not just yourself but the world around you. This means that the journey towards wholeness often involves confronting that what we've suppressed or denied within ourselves. It's an invitation to step into personal responsibility, and for many to align with a higher purpose or spiritual guidance that encourages self-acceptance and growth. The path of faith, for example, often emphasizes the importance of acknowledging imperfections and striving for inner harmony, which can be challenging but ultimately leads to more profound understanding of oneself and the world. This internal work through difficulty is seen by many as essential for living, but truly authentic and meaningful for life. This, my friends, once you are in control of your shadow, bro, once you tame the shadow, that's when all of your dreams, all of the things that you've always imagining and having, this is when it starts to actually become more like everything starts to manifest. And it's crazy because I started manifesting me being profitable, me being, the best version of myself, and actually facing all my flaws and just reviewing and analyzing and just watching my whole self, bro. Like my trading has gone up, my personality has gone up, my characteristics, my the way how I talk, the way how I speak, every aspect of my life started to change because I started to be more observant of everything, bro. And if I didn't become more observant of myself, I would be more lost. I would be in the same position, and I was never, getting actual shit done. But like now that I'm more aware of how life is and more conscious, things are supposed to be secretive, bro. It's crazy how most people never get rich, never get so smart because everything's a secret. Like you're not supposed to learn all that shit, bro, and it makes sense. But yeah, I hope you guys like this video of me showing you guys about your shadow, and hopefully this helps you guys out, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.